We just got our first look at Borderlands 4. They showed quite a bit of the game. We take a look at two of the Vault Hunters, that being Vex and Rafa. We get to see their abilities, we get to see different locations, and quite a few new game mechanics. Now, I know a lot of people seem to be skeptical. They're kind of comparing it to a little bit of a style of Destiny. It does have a Destiny vibe with the open world and the way the worlds are panned out. That's kind of how it is in Destiny. I played a lot of Destiny 2 back in the day, and I can understand how they get that feel. We have the personal vehicles, kind of like the speeders from Destiny, the mobility, the way the maps are laid out. And I can understand why people are kind of comparing it to that because it does kind of have those characteristics. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'm pretty open for a change like this in the Borderlands series. Now, as we know, Borderlands as a whole is the #1 looter shooter in the genre. Seriously, look up looter shooters, try to find another one, and you will not be able to find pretty much anything that comes close to Borderlands. Sure, there's the Division and games like RoboQuest and, the new Dead Zone Rogue, but at the end of the day, the thing that comes closest to Borderlands, I would say, is the Division overall, but nothing really scratches that itch, at least for me, when it comes to looter shooters. And, that's what we know because Borderlands as a whole kind of built the genre and built the franchise to be, the heavy hitter in the genre. And I don't think anything is going to take its place anytime soon, at least. I will say I welcome change in the game, and what they're showcasing, it seems like they're sticking to form factor. They're going back to somewhat, a little bit of a classic field like Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2. The loot drops have been taken down a notch, so, getting legendaries and getting that high tier loot is going to feel more rewarding when we grind, and they made the grinding that much easier by having the ability to not have to save quit anymore. Moxie's going to be presenting us with basically, the ability in an arena to respawn missions as well as bosses, and that's how farming is going to work. Similarly, talking about save and quitting, they basically say the worlds are going to be seamless and there's going to be little to no loading zones. Now, I think this is going to be a fresh take on the genre, and having the ability to add different gameplay elements, I think is really going to switch up the style and bring a lot of new players to the title. Because what I noticed is when Borderlands the movie came out, there's a lot of people who never played any of the games and jumped back into the series, and the series got a bump in popularity, and I'm happy for that. Not only for Gearbox and 2K, but for all the other people who love Borderlands. It was good to see many new people coming to the title, as well as older people who have played it and replaying them again for the first time in a while. So I think they're going to be a little bit smart in their execution for Borderlands 4. Obviously, they want to, please the current player base and please their fans who have been playing their games for years, but they want to have somewhat of a fresh feel to it and, bring in new elements that's going to attract a wider player base. Because I will be honest with you, I make a lot of content on my channel. I make survival crafting games as well as Borderlands. I would love to strictly make Borderlands content, but it does not do all that well. And that's just because not a lot of people are searching for it. Not a lot of people are playing it. And that's the statistic. Just like when the movie came out, got a bump in player base, but then it slowly died off once again. Now, when Borderlands 4 launches, I know it's going to get a bump again, and I hope they ride that wave for quite a while. With DLCs, expandable content, we do know there's going to be new Vault Hunters coming to the table. So from my point of view, it seems pretty exciting to see what they're going to be bringing to the table, as well as have all these new elements and kind of bring a different playstyle to the genre. And I'm welcoming it fully, and I'm excited. I just do hope, like most of you, that they're going to keep a lot of the elements the same. We don't want it to veer too far away from what we know Borderlands to be, but at the end of the day, I think when new games come out, they don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel completely per se, but they should add new elements and new options for the player base to keep us attracted to it for longer. This is just my take on Borderlands 4. Let me know if you guys are excited about it. I know I am. Borderlands as a whole is my favorite genre in gaming, and looter shooters in general I really enjoy, min-maxing your builds and going after that loot grind. But all in all, like I said, nothing scratches that itch like Borderlands does, and I'm just excited to have a new one coming out. And we know that this is going to be coming out 2 weeks earlier, and we don't have a long ways to wait. So let me know what you guys think of Borderlands 4. Are you still grinding out Borderlands 3? Have you beaten every single one? If you haven't, I recommend you going back and playing all of them. I recently did that to get a fresh mindset on all the story lore, because Borderlands does have a pretty deep story and there's a lot of ins and outs to it. But I would love to know what you guys think of Borderlands 4. Are you excited about it? What Vault Hunter are you going to play at launch? I appreciate every single one of you guys, and if you enjoyed this video, drop a like on it, and as always, stay happy, stay hyped, and have a beautiful day.